Alrighty, folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Welcome back to another NASCAR Diecast review. I wanted to have this review out last week. Unfortunately, kind of got caught up with all the next-gen stuff. But we got the 2021 first ever race win for Bubba Wallace in the Cup Series. That is the McDonald's Talladega win. And your eyes do not deceive you. This is on a plastic base. Even though the car has no alcohol sponsorships or anything like that, and it even has ages 4 and up. Apparently, you're supposed to use this die-cast in your stop motion or whatever with a plastic base. But more on the reasoning why they do that a little bit later in the video. So, if you can, please give it a huge thumbs up. And let's go check out Bubba Wallace's first ever NASCAR Cup Series win. Alrighty, folks, we're out of the good old box. And with this car having to be on a base, this all but guarantees, at least in my opinion, that this car will never be made in the Authentics line. So if you're one of those cats who like to wait on the Authentics line, guys, you're going to have to pick it up in the Gold Series. That's what it's looking like. If you want to get Bubba Wallace's first ever race win diecast and the first win for 2311 Racing, get it in the Gold Series. One day you're going to wish you had this car. And of course, if they still have it in stock over there at Circle B Diecast, you know what to do, fellas. You could save on shipping with the promo code Diecastbuffet for any orders $30 or more. So let's go ahead and dive into this review. Kind of the elephant in the room, so to speak, is why does this diecast come on a base? Well, you're looking at it. Apparently, this company right here, McDonald's, they do not want their diecasts on or to be made without a base, because from what I understand, and this is going to sound kind of asinine, is they're afraid of people, very, very young people, playing with the car and accidentally swallowing it or something like that, which I think is asinine, because I've seen smaller things in a Happy Meal toy, you know, from way back in the 2000s, so I don't know. I think it's just a really just crazy excuse. But regardless, it is on a base. And if you're wondering how do you take them off the base, you can remove this glue. There's a certain screwdriver. It's not a normal Phillips or a flathead screwdriver. It's going to be a kind of a unique one. But you can take that out. Or some people, they'll even take a pliers and very, very carefully they'll crack it and then they'll twist one piece off and one piece off as well. If you're a young fan out there, do not do it by yourself. Ask for some supervision, because it can be dangerous, right? And make sure you have eye protection as well, because the plastic shards will go everywhere. So be careful if you do that. But if you're a long-term collector, keep the base on it probably, because this is his first ever win. I mean, imagine if Bubba drives 10 more years, 15 more years, whatever it may be. This is his first win, so you're going to want to have this in your collection. So the paint scheme's actually really nice, and I much prefer it over the goofy other McDonald's car that had like the fake fries or whatever it was on the roof. This one still has some, but it's not as egregious as that. You can see a little bit of like the hood pins or the tape where the hood pins go. You got some grill tape marking. It was a range shortened race, so this car it ain't gonna have a crap load of confetti or damage, because I think they trimmed like what 70 or 60 laps off the race. A win's a win, right? But that's obviously, with it being a range shortened event, you're not going to see a lot of damage. We got number 23. There's a small kind of like a filter, if you will, of dirt on the front, which is very nice. It's a very good looking paint scheme. I don't know why, but it reminds me of my paint scheme I run on NASCAR Thunder 2004, because I'm sponsored by the same company in that game, right? And I have a paint scheme that has a very similar color combination, yellow, white, and red. So for some reason, it gives me kind of a nostalgic vibe, because, that game takes place in 2003, essentially, and seeing kind of a similar color combination is interesting. But it also kind of all but guarantees, at least for the time being, that unless the NASCAR Authentics line includes a plastic base in their card backs, which they have before with the Busch Light car, what was it, 2016 or 2017, only the McDonald's cars will be made in the Gold Series. So this is another great example for all you next-gen fans out there. If you're wanting the, I know this is a Byron diecast, but if you're wanting to get the McDonald's cars for, your collection, you're going to have to get that in the Gold Series. And with the Gold Series prices, unfortunately, continue to going up, you're probably going to need to, make sure you have that in your budget ready to go, especially if you're a Toyota fan. So you get Bubba Wallace right there. You get Toyota, Mobile One, Mac Tools, and I think that's 2311 right there. It'd be so cool if it said NBA 2K, which I hope that is next-gen cars do, because that'd be really cool. Got a little bit of a emoji or whatever that is. Got McDonald's, DoorDash, Dr. Pepper, Columbia, Root Insurance. You do see a little bit of a decal crinkle. That is not cosmetic. That is actually a crinkle, but with it being a racewear car, I don't mind. At least it feels like it, because there's a bump. 23, you get your grill tape, you get your pop rivet design. There's kind of a little bit of a speckled pattern, if you will, in the bottom tier. I love the concept of the paint scheme. I'm not crazy about the artificial French fry design on the paint scheme, though. I'm not crazy about that. You got Goodyear Cup Series race car. You go to the back end of the car, you can see more of this kind of speckled look to it. Probably like a sesame seed style to it. You got the red M right there, Toyota. Camry, McDonald's, 23. Got a very, very short spoiler. These Toyota Camrys, this is the same exact shell that was produced in 2017. So they pretty much regurgitated the same diecast mold for 5 seasons. So unfortunately, it doesn't get made with the correct taller spoiler or anything. You can see some damage right here. Kurt Busch, I remember the final laps, Kurt Busch was pushing his eventual teammate, keeping him out front, which is interesting, seeing a Chevrolet driver really committed to a Toyota driver. But he was already announced Ganassi was shutting down. He was going to Toyota, It's just, you got to do what you got to do, right? That'd be like Kyle Busch pushing Austin Dillon to win at a race or something, or helping him out, knowing he's going to be a teammate with him, which is completely crazy to think Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch are teammates. That's just blows my mind. Let's go to the roof of the car here. Once again, no confetti. Got the 23 right there. McDonald's, Wallace. I love the red and black gradient right here. That looks really good. The My Rewards with a little smartphone, it looks like. But yeah, this is a car that I think a lot of people are going to overlook. When it's a popular driver and they win a race, generally it gets overproduced so the cows come home. But this is his only win in the Gen 6 era. It's the first time, I want to say, and I could be completely mistaken with this, I want to say it's the first time that a McDonald's car has won a points-paying event since, I want to say, Jimmy Spencer. In the mid-90s. I could be completely mistaken with that. I think Bill Elliott won a Daytona dual race or something, I think in the year 2000. Could be mistaken. But that's pretty much, from what I understand, it's been a very long time. So there's a little bit of a collectability to that. But I feel like this car is going to be rare down the road because of the base. This not going into the Authentics line. Again, at the time of this video, it is not. They would have to include a base with it, it looks like. So I would unfortunately assume this is the only way to get it. They are offering it in the metal chassis rubber tire version of that. So perhaps you want to upgrade your selection for a few dollars more. You can get a little bit of a cooler diecast. But regardless, this is a very, very cool looking paint scheme. And I don't know why, but it's nostalgic to me because I run a similar paint scheme kind of design on my Thunder 04 career mode, which I got to get back to filming that, guys. I've been slacking so much on the gameplay on the channel. You know it. But I will say that his Kansas win in 2022, I don't know why, but it gives me extreme Dale Jarrett year 2000 vibes. But it also gives me some Joe Nemechek 2004 vibes, because it's like just a random Kansas win. In the 01 car, people forget about that win in 2004 when Joe Nemechek won the 01 Army car. He won at Kansas. And that's what it reminded me when the 45 won, when Bubba won at Kansas. It was just so random and an epic-looking paint scheme. It really reminded me of that. Of course, Kurt Busch won the spring race there in that amazing-looking car, the Jordan brand car, which is going to be made in the 164. If there was one car I would make sure to get, that is certainly one of them, because if they don't overproduce it, oh my goodness, the collectability of that car is going to be beyond words, possibly. Again, they could overproduce it and it'd be worth nothing, but anything that's Jordan brand, whoo, man, it's going to be big. So anyways, thank you all again for watching. Stay tuned for more diecast reviews. We're going to have, of course, a crap load more next gens to review, so hopefully you'll be able to stay tuned for that. And thank you all again for watching. Y'all, the folks are amazing. Diecast Buffet, signing off.